disappointment from the finals where Innovation lost against Soulkey.
Yeah.
And if you guys are watching the other stream right now,
or not watching,
as the case may be, 4GG just won the winners match 2-1 against SOS.
Yeah, that is so impressive, man.
I'm very surprised.
We caught like little bits of that game like between our sets, but I'm definitely more. I have so many VODs to go back and like watch after this. This is crazy. We are moving into game one very, very soon though. Belshir Vestige, LE, Innovation versus Roro. 4GG just beat SOS. Are we going to see the underdog of Samsung Con Roro come back and take down Innovation? Feels weird to call Roro the underdog, but I feel like after their last match, he certainly is that.
Well, we're loading up now. It's time. Innovation versus Roro on Belshir Vestige. Here we go. 0-0, game one of the set.
Oh, yeah.
Innovation, your blue Terran player from STX Seoul, spawning at 10 o'clock.
So, I'm sorry, I'm like jumping the gun.
Here you are jumping the gun. Roro, the red Zerg from Samsung Con.
Sad thing, man, once you break like 4 or 5 hours of straight casting, your mind just starts to go, you know? It's like I've been carrying the One Ring for a little bit too long, and now I'm like, I look at a can of coffee, I'm like, my precious.
Just slamming
That's
espresso
right.
here to bring you guys the rest of Group D.
We are not going to sleep tonight, which is too bad because it's like you kind of need that in a 3-day event. But who cares, guys? There's great Starcraft to be had, and Innovation versus Roro will not disappoint. So let's talk about a little bit about what we've seen on this map today. You know, we've seen fairly standard stuff, all things together. I mean, Belshir Vestige seems to kind of have this trend about it that we see in TVZ. We see a lot of biomine pushes, which is kind of a trend overall in the matchup, but I feel like especially on this map, it lends itself well to this style of play where it's a little bit tougher to drop on. The choke points are a little bit easier to abuse with good Widowmine positionings, and we've seen Zergs really struggle on this map. Now, if you look at the matchup history that they're showing on screen right now, Innovation overall in Heart of the Swarm, 4-1 against Roro, so it's going to be tough.
Yes, in some ways, in spite of Roro's skill, Innovation seems to just match up really well stylistically against this Zerg player.
Man, Innovation is just, I mean, it's hard to even be like, well, I don't know if he's maybe going to win this matchup, because the thing is, he's Innovation. He is easily one of the favorites to win this tournament. He's looking so good, man.
He is indeed. And there we go, Belshir Vestige, Terran versus Zerg, 18-21 right now in favor of Zerg.
Yeah.
But it sure hasn't seemed that way this tournament.
It really doesn't. I mean, not certainly today anyway, but we'll see if things kind of swing a bit, at least not in the games we've seen. We have missed about half the games today because of just being in one group while another group is going.
Fair enough.
Yeah. As is right now, I mean, nothing really terribly special to talk about. We see, you know, normal timings for the gases and everything on both sides. But what we're going to be really watching for, you know, is the stuff that comes out next. You know, what's going to be on the factory. You know, how many gases are going to take? Is there going to be a fast third for either side? It's really like about that 4-minute mark that you really start to see the deviations in the different builds. So
yeah, I'm very curious as to what Roro's going to do, if he's going to go for that quicker third or not. Yeah. Because that's going to tell us so much about his plan.
You know, I really feel as far as quicker thirds for Terran goes that we've had so many Zergs do a good job of taking advantage of that, the quicker CC, the quicker third CC, in this tournament at least, I think is going to be pretty rare.
Well, here we go. Zergling speed already on the way.
Yep.
For Roro.
Yep, pulling guys out of gas as well, just leaving a one on there. Wants to get that drone count higher, and usually when you see something like that too, it means Zerg is going to be wanting to take that quicker third. In fact, I think there is a drone going there right now, so that's going to be what's up. In the meantime, Roro scouting that factory too. He's going to see the reactor if he moves in just a little bit farther too, so just kind of seeing that nothing out of the ordinary really for Innovation, but we're waiting, you know, we're waiting now to see if it's going to be a starport. Is it going to be a couple engineering bays? Is it going to be more barracks? Is it going to be a third command center? There's a real lot that Innovation could do right now, and it is going to be a third command center. Wow, okay. So
that's like so typical of Innovation, though.
And I was looking at the mini-map on my tiny monitor. It was actually not a drone. It was a Zergling just checking that third base location out. So no quick third, actually, for Roro.
Instead, he's just going to be droning up, and I wonder if Roro's
Yeah.
going to show us a 2-base timing.
I take it back. Now the drone is going there for the third. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I was like, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a quick third. There it is.
I got all excited, Noah.
Well, you can continue to be excited because there is a quick third. And Roach Warren behind this, too. So, getting that third base right now for Zerg and ZVT doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see a macro game. We've seen so many ZVTs where they can use that third just for a little bit extra larva, for a little bit of distraction against Terran to make them kind of be a bit lulled while they gear up for like a big Roach Baneling attack. So there's a lot of things that the Zerg player can use that third base for that's not necessarily macro purposes, you know?
And speaking of that, the Roach Warren is about to pop for Roro.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily signal that aggressive play, however.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I've been talking to a lot of Zerg Pro players about like the necessity of a Roach Warren in this matchup, and I've gotten kind of mixed answers with that. A lot of pro Zerg saying, yeah, you might as well just build a Roach Warren no matter what's going on. You might need it. And I've had a few Zerg players say, well, you really only need it in certain circumstances. Like if you see them going Hellbat drop, you need it, obviously. But
and
look at this.
That.
Yeah, that is it. 12 Roaches on the way. Baneling Nest as well.
We've seen this before.
Yeah,
I know how this story ends, Noah.
Roro wants to get some damage done. So the question is, yeah, will it end with some damage done by Roro, or will it end with Roro losing a lot of units and being very behind right now? Because keep in mind, there is that third command center, 2 engineering bays as well for innovation, so he is totally going for that very greedy upgrade style. His unit count is going to be a little bit lower, but he does have a good amount of Hellions out on the map. He's not going to be surprised by this. He's going to see it coming fairly early, I think. Oh, unless it goes on the other side of the map that the Hellions are on.
Oh,
and there we go.
Now.
Yeah. Hard not to spot that.
But here, the Banelings are going to start morphing outside of the base, and this is looking a lot
bunkers,
like
dude.
Soulkey versus Alive from earlier today.
Some late bunkers. We're going to see what happens there. Trying to draw out that Widowmine shot.
Doesn't
He
quite
got
do
one
it.
of them. Got one of them.
Needs to draw the.
There we
There's
go.
the other one. Getting both of them now before he moves forward, starting to target down
here
the
come the
bunker.
Banelings.
Huge number of Banelings. He's got to be careful. A lot left over as well. Getting in there. Those bunkers are not going to complete. Those SCVs
goodbye.
are not going to live. And Innovation in trouble now.
He is going to do so much damage. Killing off a little bit more of that wall, finishing off the bunker. The natural has been absolutely devastated.
Some Widowmine shots finishing off the Roaches, but the march of the Banelings continues, and the flood of the Zerglings makes it into the main.
The revenge of Roro. The Roaches are on top of the production facilities now. There are 2 Marauders out right now, and I believe they may even have Stim, if I'm seeing this right. But as it is, I mean, Roro's going to kill a ton of workers.
Yeah, but the number of MCBs lost at this point, and you can see just droning behind it.
Yeah.
Toa, this reminds me so much of Soulkey versus Alive Game 1 from earlier today.
Wow, 26 SCVs killed, only 28 in total out right now. And yeah, you're absolutely right. This is exactly what every Zerg wants to do in this situation. And he really got what he wanted to get done.
And that's exactly it. You know, we saw Soulkey just take a huge map presence advantage out of this. It didn't kill Alive, but what did kill Alive was just entirely losing control of the map. Basically, Soulkey got 2 more expansions off that as well.
Yeah.
A 3rd and a 4th base while he was on the offensive.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's also getting that macro hatch too, just to make a lot of units.
75 to 32 worker count disparity.
Looking a little bit disgusting right now on the Roro side of things. He's way, way ahead. Blair almost finished too, and I mean, if you look at the income as well, that makes it look a little bit more on the even side, but it certainly is a big lead for Roro. Just a little bit more scouting there. He's like, yeah, well, you're pretty much doing what you kind of have to do. Just more barracks and try to get that production going.
So let's talk about these 3 command centers. Now,
sure.
They've all been turned into these orbital commands. So he can replenish those SCV counts just a little bit easier this way as well.
Yeah, it will give him an advantage. I mean, he didn't die to that big push from Roro, so he will be able to bounce back from it a little bit quicker than a lot of Terrans would be able to in this situation. So in that situation, the 3rd CC, the 3rd orbital doing very well. The Mules, though, will make it too that he's going to mine out his main and natural a little bit quicker as well. So taking that 3rd is still very important, but man, look at this. 1-1 nearly done, and a ton more Roaches on the way right now for Roro. He's got that fourth, but he may be looking to just do even more damage here.
Yeah, losing that overseer, but not too concerned.
Not a big army at all out right now for Innovation.
And the Roaches, they are massing. The upgrades are nearly finished. For Roro, 21 Roaches, but he's going for that melee upgrade instead of the range.
Yeah. Having a lot of Lings as well is pretty nice, but you are right. That is kind of interesting, but he can transition to various other things, getting that Infestation Pit, maybe moving into Ultras eventually. Usually we try to see Zerg players close it out with Ultras. Right now, he just needs a lot of Roaches to keep this fourth alive.
Innovation's got to be careful. A lot of Roaches here right now at the fourth and more on the way. A little bit of kiting right there, but a lot of Widow Mines between Roro and the bio.
Is he going to save this third, though? It's getting pretty low.
And yes, he will, at least for the moment. It only got down to about 50%. Innovation trying to drop his way back into this game.
Yeah, that's the issue, is that Innovation's going to be all over the place with drops, but again, this map a little bit more challenging to drop on than some because of how tight the mineral lines for the bases are up against the edge of the map. It's hard to get back behind it.
And here we go. Those Widow Mines will be up in just a second. He doesn't have that Overseer over there yet.
Oh, wow, he's going right for the natural.
So he's going around right now. Zergling's already there to meet the drop, though, and that's not going to be particularly successful.
25 Banelings on the way, too, so Roro thinking about a bit of a counterattack after he defends this push here.
Finally clears out those Widow Mines in just in the nick of time.
Yep, it's a drop. More damage done at the natural, and I mean, here's the thing, is like Roro is going to be very delayed by handling all these drops, and this is a good way for Innovation to get himself back in the game, but oh man, he doesn't really have much at home to defend against these Banelings. He's going to need to have absolutely perfect Widow Mine shots.
Oh, and here comes the mass of Roro. The Roaches are here, the Zerglings are here, the Banelings are crushing through the front, and these Banelings not even really having to be used yet. He's got to go in for the SCV's huge detonation.
That may be a little bit too much damage for Innovation to handle. Roro losing some stuff in his fourth right now, but he's in the main of Innovation.
He's in there once again. His return trip to Innovation's main.
It's like, I'm back. And I'm sure Innovation missed him. He's actually targeting down the starboard. He doesn't want to deal with any more drops. I like that. He's like, you know what? Yeah, there. No more medevacs. Happy day.
And the Zerglings continue to pour across the map right now. The river of Lings is never ending. But
Indeed.
Innovation does manage to push back our Samsung Khan Zerg.
You know, and he might have been able to just end it actually if he didn't target the starport, but it just shows you how Roro likes to play that longer game, man.
He's got 28 more Roaches building right now.
Exactly, yeah, he's not in any hurry.
He's over 100 supply up. Innovation.
Yeah. No issues there, and I mean, it was a great idea to take out that starport, man. I mean, getting rid of the ability for your opponent to harass you nearly completely pretty much will seal the deal for Roro in this game.
Oh boy. Well, Innovation making a final and desperate push out on the map right here. 18 Banelings getting morphed in a position where they can roll straight into Innovation's base.
Yep, that's right.
Oh boy, and the Zergling harassment continues. Those mules, not gonna be enough.
It's gonna be a bit rough.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh. Those Marines just were not cool enough to get in the medevac.
That's right, left to die. Scumbag medevacs.
Yep. And here come the other Banelings, and I don't think that Innovation can hold this one up. No amount of control is going to save him. GG, and Roro takes game one. Well done. He has now doubled his amount of wins versus Innovation.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, Innovation's got some things to think over there. And again, we saw that fast third command center. This is Innovation seems to refuse to deviate from this build.
And again, we saw it punished as well. Like, we're seeing so many Terran players get hit hard for doing this style. Zergs, they've had enough. They're fed up with it, and they know that they can sacrifice a bit of economy to get that damage done, and then set their opponent that far behind. Works out well.
It does indeed.
Yeah. So map number 2 is going to be Whirlwind LE, a nice big map. This should be a great game.
It should indeed. A very close, well, in the beginning was pretty close. Got a little bit out of hand there at the end for Innovation.
Yeah.
But Roro looking sharp, and it seems like he's learned from the follies of the quarterfinals of WCS Korea and is now adapting to his brethren such as Simple and Solkey that have kept it close against Innovation.
Yeah, exactly. Seeing what those other Zergs did and just kind of copying it, that's what you got to do. I mean, Innovation, a fantastic player, but we found his Achilles heel, man.
I don't know if it's really his Achilles heel or his refusal to adapt.
Well, I guess that would be an Achilles heel. That's a weakness, That's a weakness. If you don't adapt, you're weak.
I guess. Well,
see,
I guess he needs to collect
Zergs
more
know
essence.
that, man. Exactly. Yeah, they want to evolve, right?
So here we go. Game is counting down. It is now loading up as we head in again. Whirlwind LE.
Yep.
The map that you are about to feast your eyes upon. And here we go. Innovation versus Roro. Winners match from Group D. 1-0 for the Samsung Con player, but this is STX Seoul's Innovation. And in the red corner, that will be Samsung Con's Roro, eager to avenge his loss in the WCS Korea quarterfinals.
Now, in the WCS Korea Grand Finals, we had Innovation against Solkey in the exact same spawning positions on this map, if I remember right, and Solkey won it with a big-time Baneling bust.
Oh, right.
Yep,
yeah.
That's right. So this is a big map, but the positions that they're in are actually pretty close, all things considered. I think Roro's going to be happy about this when he scouts it.
Very cool. Well, Roro not going to find it too quickly. Overlord
Not yet.
heading to the south position.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like, honestly, if Innovation isn't quite able to take out Roro, if he does lose out in this match, he's going to feel pretty confident going up against, either Revival or Damaga as well. Both of those players, strong Zergs, but maybe just not quite up to the task of taking down Innovation from what we've seen out of those two players earlier today. So if I was Innovation, even if I lost this game right here and went out 2-0, I may not be that worried yet about my tournament life.
Yeah.
But by the same token, you do need to take things very seriously, too.
Right. It's so much easier just to close it out now and be done with it.
Yep.
Take a breather until the quarterfinals tomorrow.
Yeah.
And have more time, too, to really think about researching your opponents for tomorrow rather than be worried about another set of matches today.
Yeah. There's a gas first before pool for Roro, so again, I feel like a broken record because I've casted so many TVZs today, but he's going for that faster Zergling speed. And I mean, how many times have we seen this as well? Command center on the high ground, getting that barracks. Very, very normal openings for both of these guys. But
and the scouting continues.
Will we see that fast cert for Innovation? That's what I'm really going to be watching for.
And even though Innovation did go barracks into Command Center last game, he really didn't slow down his third that much, and that's really what seems to be tripping him up. And a lot of these timings too, if he just had a couple tanks on the high ground, it would be so much easier for Innovation to hold.
Yeah. That's right.
I feel like this is some sort of really good long game that Innovation is playing, where eventually he's just going to fool everyone into doing these timing attacks, and then he's going to completely switch up into a counter style and start owning everyone again.
I guess now would be a good time for him to do that if he's planning on it.
He's waiting until the playoffs.
He's biding his time. He has to get to the playoffs first, though. That's the key. Yeah. So, Roro, off to a good start in the series, and how cool it would be. What a great story for Roro to come back and kind of get that revenge we're talking about. Get that win against Innovation here, move on, and face whoever he's going to end up facing in the round of 8 tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing those brackets, man, after the end of the day. And, even though I know we've been casting a ton today, it feels like we've moved very fast. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's the caffeine in my system, but I feel like we've gone pretty quick. It has been a lot of ZVZ and TVZ, and we haven't casted a single Protoss, actually. We didn't do the Protoss group.
Double Sean stole all the Protosses.
That's right. That's right. That's fine with me, man.
We got all the foreigners, though.
We did. Ooh, that's true, yeah. Well, share and share alike, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
To the Shawns go the Protosses.
Yeah.
To Monty and Doa go
So
the
as the
Foreigners.
Shawns go, so do go unto you. I have no idea what I meant by that, but it just seemed like the thing to say at the time.
Wise quotes with Doa.
That's right. Sounded very wise, didn't it?
We're just getting more delirious as the
I
day
guess
goes
so.
on, too.
I guess so. Really quick third for Roro. And here we go. Now we've got Innovation switching things up a bit. It's going to be a Widowmine drop. Roro's got Overlords in position. Look at where he's got his Overlords, actually. He will not miss a drop coming across the map right now. Very good placement. That Queen's just like, hey guys, come back. And that, yeah, I mean, he sees the third, but just seeing a Queen there to begin with kind of like shows you that there's a third base. Double Evo Chamber coming up for Roro right now. Is he just narrowing the choke, though, with that? Or is he planning on going into that longer game? Oh, goodbye, Overlord.
Oh, he didn't die.
Or not. All right. The one Widowmine's like, I refuse. Pacifist Widowmine, I guess.
It's a that Widowmine has mercy.
He needs to get a good talking to from Corporal Widowmine.
Oh, and there we go. The third command center. Pretty quick again, but
Yep.
Roro looking like he's going to be heading more towards that macro game. Already having that Overlord speed upgrade as well for the scouting.
You know, whenever I see an Overlord die, and it just like all the like stuff falls down, I'm like, some jungle animal is down there, and it's just gonna like have like guts rained on him. He's like, oh, what is this? He's like, ah.
If you were a jungle
What's
animal,
going
you'd
on up
probably be
there?
very happy about that.
I don't know. What if they bleed acid though? That's never fun.
No.
Yeah. So it looks like just straight up Ling Baneling Muta macro from Roro. He's got to defend against these few aliens here, but he does have some Lings. And he's got to get him in the right spot. Actually, those two Hellions doing a good amount of damage, honestly.
I feel like Roro mismicroed that a little bit.
He did. He did a little bit, yeah. It's true. It's true. And there's the Widowmine drop coming out now from Innovation. And it was not scouted. Remember, he did take out those Overlords that were there. They tried to scout it. Now he knows about it, though. Already a Spore Crawler out. Roro in pretty good spot. Oh, the drones.
Oh, he hit the Overlords.
He shot at the Overlords. Whoops. That's what happens when you don't target your Widowmines, guys. He missed a big opportunity there.
Yeah, he absolutely did.
Well,
and the Spore's going up left and right now for Roro.
Hasn't worked out at the main, or the natural. Hasn't worked out at the third. Didn't even get to drop in the main. This Widowmine drop not going so hot right now for Innovation. No, he's got to get out of there. He nearly lost his medevac, too.
I have to say, Noah, that could have been such a huge hit for that Widowmine, too.
He could have probably killed a good 5 or 6 drones with that, yeah.
Would have made that whole drop worth his while.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I'd really like to see like a scientific sort of readout on the attack priority for Widowmines, because it does seem a bit confusing sometimes. But it just goes to show you really, really need to target it.
I don't know. I find it exciting. I've said this before, but as a longtime Brood War fan, it reminds me of Reaver drops in a way.
Exactly, yeah. It's a bit like the Scarabs. You never know quite where they're going to go.
That's part of the excitement of seeing when it's like, is it going to do a ton of damage? Is it going to do no damage?
Is it going to just disappear randomly? That doesn't happen anymore, but like, yeah, you're totally right, yeah. You need to be very, very careful. You really need to babysit it. Yeah. But that's okay, honestly, because the higher amount of babysitting you need to do with it really is kind of the higher amount of skill that it takes to make it work. And that means impressive games for us to watch. So I am perfectly fine with that.
Well, the Widowmine's doing a good job of thinning out Zerglings around the map here. Very impressive placement once again from Innovation.
Yeah.
He really knows how to control map zones with these better than most other Terran players that we see.
Innovation a little bit up on supply right now even. I mean, we've got a Zerg going for a lot of different upgrades. He's been saving up for Mutalisk, so that's going to change fairly soon here too, but just shows you that Innovation, despite, you know, kind of the early follies, I guess you could say, with the Widowmine drops, hasn't really missed a beat as far as his macro is concerned.
And here we go, the March of the Mines is commencing onto Roro's base. Now, Roro has a few Mutas out right now.
Yeah.
And he's getting some more as well, so a bit of a different style this game from our Samsung Khan Zerg player.
I thought you said March of the Mimes for a second there, and I'm like, yes, the Mime soldiers, silent but deadly.
Your forces are under
When the
attack.
Mimes march, though, they don't actually move. They just pretend that they're walking.
It's true, they don't really go anywhere, yeah. not as dangerous as I thought. When you mime like bayoneting someone too, it's not as bad.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nowhere near as painful.
The Terran mime soldiers never quite caught on. I don't know what Manx was thinking with that one.
I think they were experimental super soldiers.
That's right. Colonel Marcel Marceau.
So here's the Hive.
Yeah, well.
Coming along for Roro. He's been left pretty much untouched this game, doing a good job of defending those drops, or Widow Mines just going ahead and shooting Overlords.
There's been a couple little pokes here and there, but all in all, it's been kind of a little bit of no rush 15 going on here. And Roro's going to have, a pretty good army here built up. We'll see what he wants to do with this Hive. He's got the Infestors on the way. Ultras, again, have been kind of the preference lately. They're much, much better in Heart of the Swarm for a variety of reasons, but we'll see. I mean, Broodlords wouldn't be the worst idea ever.
You know, not going too heavy with those mutas, looking like he just wants to use them to defend drops, mostly.
Yeah.
And not actually do any kind of big harassment on his own. So I'm curious as to what exactly his long-term plan is here, but with those Infestors, gotta think it's gonna be going into Ultras at some point.
It's been what we've seen a lot of. First, he's got to worry about this push, though. I mean, Innovation trying to become the annoying neighbor, man. He just doesn't want to leave. And there's the Ultra Cavern. Started up right now as well as those adrenal glands. Here comes Roro. There goes Roro.
That's right, Roro on the retreat.
Yep.
So he's just trying to pull him back, trying to keep Innovation from pressuring him before he can get his optimal army out. Nice split
Yeah.
from Roro. Didn't lose too much in a potentially dangerous situation. And here we go with 3-3
Yeah.
for Roro.
3-3 for Innovation as well, though. The upgrade's pretty even for both of these guys. And Innovation's big push is coming. Oh, here comes Roro, though.
What a great Fungal, immediately eliminating those Marines in the front line. Fungal after Fungal, and these medevacs might get cleaned up by all of these Mutalisks, and Innovation loses everything.
Dude, the Fungals really made those Widow Mines not be so great for Innovation. Locked those Marines in place, so when the Lings and Baneling came in, it was not just the Lings and Banelings, it was the damage from the Widow Mines as well.
Very impressive fungal growths. I love those earlier Infestors from Roro. Maybe that's the missing ingredient that a lot of these Zergs haven't been having quite fast enough. And
well, we saw him hit some really good Fungals there too, which is a bit harder to do in Heart of the Swarm, and here comes Innovation again. Oh, wow. Not doing a whole lot with that.
He's got a lot of medevacs, but not a lot else right now.
Yeah.
And these few Mutalisks, Fungals taking down 4. Oh, wow.
Oh, this is just
all
devastating.
All of these medevacs just getting cleaned right up.
Yeah.
That is huge. That's going to prevent so many drops down the line as well. Thinning those medevac numbers, really critical against a drop-heavy player like Innovation.
Forcing the Terran to choose between dropping or having healing for their army is a big deal. Now look at this. Roro even putting a base up in the bottom left part of the map. Oh man, that was costly. But the Ultras are on the way. The Greater Spire is on the way as well. Roro's going to have not only a great economy, but all the tech he wants. He's going to be able to switch between things very well as long as he keeps up on his injects, which I would assume he will. Here he comes again.
Just a massive spin. Oh, wow. Those Widow Mines doing a bit of damage to Innovation's own forces.
Yeah. He split well, but that one was kind of a bit of a wash.
Yeah.
Either way, Roro.
Widow Mine still here finally gets cleaned out.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to be careful, though.
Yep.
And here we go. The pickup. Those Ultralisks will not get to sink their Kaiser Claws into any humans.
Oh, one Ling survived. Isn't it Kaiser Blades?
Kaiser Blades, that's right. Thank you.
I'm like, it's not Kaiser Claws, it's Kaiser Blades.
Thank you.
Why is Monte Cristo casting Starcraft? Doesn't know about the game.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
And we've got a lot of Corruptors on the way too, so he's being able to make that transition to that super scary late game Zerg army of Infestor, Ling, Ultra, and Broodlord. 2 drops though, getting spotted. And Innovation, that's the thing, is that he's still on 4 bases. He's still got an absolutely insane economy, insane production right now. and Roro keeps needing to win these fights to stay in the game. If he ever loses a fight inefficiently, he's going to be in big trouble.
And let's talk about the range upgrades for the Planetary Fortress and